Welcome back to another edition of CCMA Kids. This is the third part in the three-part lesson on designing your own crest. Today we'll be painting our designs onto a prepared panel or other surface. First thing I've done is divided my drawing and my panel into comparable grids. So I overlaid a 6x4 grid on top of my drawing and then also on top of the painted panel here to the left. What that allows me to do is somewhat accurately translate the design over to the panel so I can begin to paint it. Actually, you know what? I think that I started measuring this the other way, so I'm just going to quickly turn this around. And then I'm going to get started working to draw out with pencil my design before I start painting. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on that now. All right. Okay, so I have my design drawn out in this panel, and now I'm just going to go get my paints so I can start painting. Okay, now I have my paints. I have a palette knife to mix paints. You can just use a normal disposable knife if you want. I like to use a palette knife. I have some brushes. And then I have a palette and a cup for water. And the first thing I'm going to do is take some white paint and just fill in like a background of some of the areas so that when I paint the colors, they stand out more vibrantly and that the pencil mark doesn't interfere with my colors. All right. Now that I have these areas with like a bright white background, I can begin to start painting with my colors. So what I'm going to try to do is match my color study as close as possible, starting with this yellow background. So with that yellow, I'm going to use like a cadmium yellow light and a cadmium yellow medium. Mix those on the palette knife with my palette knife on the palette here, and then I'll go ahead and get started on the background. Now that the background's done, I'm going to work backwards to front, so I'll start in the stripes on the back of the crest. again, it's important that we work back to front so the parts that we want to really stand out, like the letters and the edge, really pop. Now, when you're working on any project, unexpected things can happen. For instance, when I was working on this, halfway through painting this section, my camera stopped working, but I didn't realize it. So I don't have footage of it till all the way to completion, but I do have an image of the final piece. So if you look here, you can see that as I was working back to front, I could really make the W and the S and the dog really stand out because they were actually painted last, like they're closest to the top of the surface. So what the most important thing with this stage of the process is to try to match your colors, to have fun, and allow yourself to react to the painting as it develops. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you join us next week when we work on sketchbooks. Please share your finished crests with us at info@thecma.org or at Cleve Carney Museum of Art. Thank you so much, and have a great week.